Welcome to Secrets of the Stones. Tonight's stone is pink Andean opal. Opal was known in ancient China as Dan He Shi, which means eggshell stone. It was also given the name Opal, which meant precious from Australia. It is interesting to note that the ancient mariners knew of a continent known as Australia. There's a book called Pale Ink, which details this history. Incidentally, opal is mined mostly in Australia, where the most precious stones are found. Its other name, egg white stone or Dan Bai Shi, is another reference to its fragility and appearance. Opal is composed of hydrous silicon dioxide and contains 3 to 21% water. It is a type of diluted quartz. The stone has an amorphous crystal structure, but is formed by deposits of microscopic spheres of silica. These tiny spheres diffract light as it passes through the stone, causing the characteristic opalescence. The amount of opalescence depends on how much water exists between these tiny spheres, as well as the regularity of the pattern of the stacking of the spheres. Stones with high degrees of opalescence are most prized. There are many different kinds of opal. Here is blue-green Andean opal, fire opal, black fire opal, rainbow or precious boulder opal, and pink Andean opal, which is the topic of today's video. Pink Andean opal comes from Peru. It is a pale pink or dark reddish pink crystal and can be transparent or opaque. Pink Andean opal has a more complex chemical structure than other kinds of opal. It is composed of hydrous silicon dioxide and a mineral called palygorskite, which may contain impurities of iron and potassium. The pink color is the result of organic compounds called quinones. The crystal often appears with black markings, which are comprised of manganese oxide. The contrast between pink and black can be seen as a reflection of the relationship between the heart and the kidneys, or fire and water. Pink Andean opal enhances communication between the heart and the kidneys. It is cooling, able to draw fire from the heart downward to energize the digestive system and increase sexual vitality. Energetically, pink Andean opal brings fire back to the kidneys and in the process supports the spleen. It traverses the level of the skin, working slowly to affect the deeper levels over time. Opal is the birthstone for people born in October. So what are the functions and uses? Opal is an amorphous crystal, which means it is without form. It is associated with the water element and the water meridians, the kidney and bladder. It is formless, flexible, and imposes no agenda. It resonates with the 9 palaces lesson of learning to be gentle with oneself, and also can be used to affirm the water temperament, the yin water associated with the kidneys, and the yang water associated with the bladder meridian. I've done another video on the temperaments. The theory is that we all resonate with one or more of these temperaments, and we can use a crystal that has the same crystal structure as us to either strengthen our temperament or switch to another temperament. But this is a gradual process, and crystals work gradually over time if they are being used for this function. In general, amorphous crystals benefit the 8 extraordinary meridians. They are beneficial for releasing established patterns of behavior. They help us remain objective about ourselves and calm the spirit. They can be used to expel and extinguish wind and to address seizures or migraines. They are also beneficial for dreaming up new possibilities. Amorphous crystals need to touch the skin to be effective. They are often used in combination with other stones as the associate of the formula, but opal likes to be used on its own. Here are the 8 extraordinary meridians. Opal resonates with points along the Ren Mai, or conception vessel, pictured second to the left. All types of opal nourish yin and are beneficial for emotional issues. They have an affinity for the kidneys, which store the essence, and the Z, which is the soul of the kidneys, and it means willpower. Essentially, they can alleviate depression and promote the willingness to live. The stone's association with the heart gives enthusiasm for life. Pink Andean opal establishes communication between the heart and the kidneys and stimulates happy thoughts. It is beneficial for treating depression and suicidal tendencies. It strengthens the qi of the spleen and is beneficial for poor metabolism, poor digestion, especially of carbohydrates, potbelly, and low blood sugar. Pink Andean opal tonifies the kidneys and strengthens the will, or Z, which resides in the kidneys. It is useful for treating essence deficiency, especially in the elderly and children with poor structure or growth. It is helpful for poor brain function and low sexual vitality. This stone generates fluids, particularly hormonal fluids, or yu, which include insulin. It helps build blood and yin and is indicated for wasting thirsting disorder, a condition similar to diabetes, which presents with frequent eating, frequent urination, or excessive sweating. The ancient Aztecs referred to the stone as the eye of the gods. They believed that holding it in their hands for 1 to 5 minutes a day for 3 to 5 days, while visualizing difficulties, would bring insight from the gods. So how can this stone be applied? You can take pink Andean opal on the midline of the abdomen, midway between the navel and the V shape formed where the base of the sternum meets the rib cage, on a point known as Ren 12, or conception vessel 12, to strengthen the enzymatic activity of the spleen and promote digestion. The kidneys continually support the digestive and emotional functions of the stomach and the spleen. Irregular eating habits, such as undereating or overeating, damage the stomach yin and the spleen qi. Pink Andean opal has a hydrating effect, which nourishes stomach yin and spleen qi. This extra nourishment allows the kidneys to save their energy for more important functions. Tape a pink Andean opal crystal on the midline, 2 fingers width below the navel, on a point known as conception vessel 6, to strengthen the kidneys and treat loss of sexual vitality. Place pink Andean opal around a person who feels unloved and place a single terminated crystal pointed into the navel to absorb and bring in nourishment. Place a pink Andean opal on the third eye to receive happy dreams. Place the crystal on the navel to nourish yin. Rub the stone on spider veins, varicosities, and major blood vessels, and also on the Lowell connecting points pictured here to treat vascular problems. Pink Andean opal and other kinds of opal resonate with these Lowell connecting points. To treat blockage of the arteries, place or tape pink Andean opal on points along the stomach meridian as follows. On the upper border of the collarbone, 1 hand's width lateral to the central notch at the base of the throat, on a point known as stomach 12. On the abdomen, 2 thumbs width lateral to the navel, on a point known as stomach 25. On the upper border of the pubic bone, 2 fingers lateral to the midline, on a point known as stomach 30. And on the highest point on the top of the foot, next to the pulsation of the dorsal artery, on a point known as stomach 42. Opal is considered a solitary stone. Most stone materia medica references recommend using it on its own, unless a quick effect is needed. It is generally antagonized by calcite, but can be combined with manganocalcite to cool excessive adrenal activity if a quick effect is needed. Both stones nourish yin and are cooling. Manganocalcite speeds up the effect of opal. Opal can be combined with dolomite if there are dual signs of yin and yang deficiency. Both opal and moonstone nourish yin. Moonstone generally affects the hormonal fluids more, while opal affects the blood and has a more gradual effect. So what are the internal applications? You can drink an elixir made with pink Andean opal to address digestive symptoms, clear toxins, and reduce heavy metal toxicity. There are a few cautions and contraindications to be aware of when using this stone. The elixir should only be used for a short period of time. Wearing the stone as jewelry for long periods can lead to clumsiness. It is fragile. It should not be exposed to intense light or heat and should be kept in a safe place, away from the elements. You can place opal in water after each use. It can be recharged with a clear quartz crystal, but never in the sunlight or with sea salt. These elements will draw the water out of the stone and destroy its hydrating properties. And here are some images of pink Andean opal. This is blue Andean opal, which also comes from Peru. Well, thank you for joining me tonight on Secrets of the Stones. Hope you're having a wonderful evening or day, and I'll see you next time.